All right, are you ready?
Yeah? This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. Bold, bright and everlasting. You can find us at 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Carlisle Studios. My name is Hal Hunter and I'm lucky enough to be here again with...
Bella Hunter.
We are both professional tattooers from Carlisle Tattoo Co. and Vintique Tattoo Parlour in Melbourne, Australia. Anything else you'd like to add, Bella, to our descriptions?
That sounded pretty good.
Yeah. I'm actually getting a little bit of deja vu right now.
Why?
Well...
Oh, sorry, that took me a while.
Yeah. Oh, did you actually not clue onto it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Firstly,
that's embarrassing.
Apologies for the dog drinking water in the background, if you can hear that.
Nah, it's a little bit of ASMR that we're adding to the potty.
So if you can hear that, that's Cuddy having a drink. And that leads me on to, we're actually recording this at home.
Yes, we are.
At our dinner table. Cuddy.
She's thirsty.
There we go. Good girl. Yeah, back home with the podcast. I'll fill you in as to why. Well, you know why, Bella. But
I definitely know why.
yeah, deja vu, because this is actually the third time we've attempted to record this episode.
Yep.
That's why we had to put out the post. No podcast on Monday, unfortunately.
Do you want to give more explanation as to why?
I'll give a bit of context. Okay. We were under a little bit of time pressure in the morning, recording it at work the other week.
Yes.
I just had a very annoying, frustrating phone call.
Yes.
That I got off immediately before the episode.
Literally like hung up, 1, 2, 3, press record.
Yep. And we were both pretty tired. And what ended up happening was we recorded about 10 minutes and we
No, sorry, I remember very specifically. I looked at the time. It was like 11 minutes and 14 seconds or something.
I've still got the recording, by the way, of both
Don't
previous
ever
attempts.
air it.
Maybe we will.
Well, I was fine with it. It was you who wasn't.
Yeah. So we got about 11 minutes in, just had argued essentially for 11 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I feel like we need to start this again. So that...
Well, what actually happened was you said to me like, oh, what the fuck? You just been arguing with me. Like in that tone.
Did it sound... I don't think it sounded like that.
It sounded exactly like that. And then I was like, Jesus, okay. All right. Someone was a bit sassy. Got their knickers in a twist.
And then we recorded a full hour episode after that.
Yep.
And...
He still wasn't happy with it.
No, it wasn't. And it's the first time we've ever not put an episode out. We've ended recordings before and gone like...
that was a bit average.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Was it good? Was it interesting? Will people want to listen to it or whatever? But I don't know. I think I was just in a shit mood.
You were definitely in a shit mood.
I was definitely in a shit mood and I was just real negative about it. I haven't even listened to it, but we might...
I think my mood was the exact same as it is every single day. So I'm going to blame you for that because you were so sassy with me.
Maybe we'll blame it on the questions that people asked us because they were a little bit topical and it was...
You didn't like my answers. You said I was getting like too into it.
No, I don't know.
I'm going to give the same answers today, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll just be more positive or I won't say anything.
Let's see how it goes.
So, and that background noise again is our other dog, Tintin, looking through her basket of 50 toys
I keep adding to.
for one specific toy.
She's very specific of which one she wants to play with at any given time.
How's your week been, Bella? Or week and a half now?
Oh, goodness. Now I have to think about what I've said already and say the same thing.
You don't have to say something because no one's ever going to hear the previous ones.
Well,
Unless we ever get like divorced and it'll be like, this was the beginning of the divorce.
that was the beginning? Oh, I could think of other stories.
Maybe.
Anyway, my week and a half. So since the last recording, I finished off a Battle Royale back piece.
Yep, on that girl.
Yep. So that was great. Very happy to finish that. I posted a photo of it the other day. So if you haven't seen it, go have a look. Unless you don't care, then don't look.
Is it on Instagram?
Fine. It's on my Instagram.
Is it on TikTok?
No, it's not on TikTok.
Not on TikTok. Is it on Threads?
No, I'm not getting around Threads.
Nah, neither am I.
Because, sorry, I'm just going to give a reason here. I already spend so much of my time on my phone and social media for work. that I really don't want to add another thing to it that just ties me to my phone for more minutes or hours of the day.
I'm going to make a big claim. Threads ain't going to work. It's going to flop.
Cool. I'll go with that. Sure.
Yeah.
So
I don't actually know anything about it.
at the moment, I'm not in the headspace to even consider it.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind.
So it's only on Instagram, the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I actually finished another back piece, but that was the start of the next week. And it was the vase and flowers. Mm-hmm. Do you know the one?
Yes, with the swallows.
Yeah. So that was great to finish that one again. Uh-huh. And then I feel like the rest of the week was really good, but nothing like super significant.
Yeah.
And then we had the weekend, which we had a semi-busy weekend, but semi-not. We actually had, I'm talking about this weekend.
Oh, the one just gone.
Just passed,
So you've skipped a weekend.
Yeah, because I can't remember what we did.
Yeah, I know. It is a long time ago now.
Yeah, and I can't be bothered looking through my photos because then I'll be sitting here like,
No, fair enough.
So this previous weekend just gone, we had some friends over on Sunday evening with their 3-year-old, which was great fun. It was Hal's best friend, who we often mention on the podcast, Ariel, and his wife Amy. And that was really funny because their child is just very entertaining. And then you had your mum and brother come down and stay the night.
Yes, I did.
And you went surfing. And I don't know if you're going to talk about your surfing, so
I will.
Okay, there we go. That's all I can really remember. My significant parts.
The previous weekend, which was 2 weekends ago, we didn't really do anything.
That's right. We had the really boring, lazy one.
No surfing, no jiu-jitsu, nothing. And the reason for that was, sorry, the dogs are trying to jump up on the table.
Hal, just don't get frustrated about it. Just let them float around. This is their home.
Okay. The conditions for surfing were no good.
That's right.
And
it was really choppy and crappy weather.
Yeah, I hurt my back.
I think we've spoken.
No, this was a few days before when we recorded the other day.
Right, okay.
I stupidly hurt my back on the skateboard.
Trying to do tricks that your body won't allow you to, is that right?
I think I would say it's more I hadn't actually warmed up.
Yeah, okay. All in the preparation.
Yep, tweaked the back, and that sort of put me out of action for the weekend. And
that's also a big reason as to why you were grumpy.
Yeah.
A lot of last week because your back was sore.
Bit of background on the back. I've had a lot of issues with it over the past. Broke my back about 10 years ago. Have had some like nerve issues since then. Got a bit of floating bone and stuff in the lower spine. So, and then, stuff like spend a lot of time in the car.
I was just going to say that, obviously, because we spend like an hour
and then
plus.
We sit down all day.
Yeah.
So it's no big issue. Oh, I mean, it does debilitate me occasionally, but it's more so it's no issue until I get lazy with like the
constant
conditioning
exercise
and rehab and stuff around it. And then I'll be like, I won't think about it for a while, and then I'll go to do something and I'll hurt my back and I'll be like, fuck. And then I'll get my head back in the game, do the rehab, do the mobility, all
it's
that.
a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So fucking annoying, but whatever. I don't want to complain about it.
After I've just complained.
But the last weekend, one of the notes I've got down is I went and bought like a home workout station.
Yeah.
Chin up bar, dip bar, push-ups.
It's all in one.
Bench press.
That's it. We couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah. All in one, $80. I'm really happy with it. It's definitely not like heavy duty at all. So I'm 100 kilos, so doing chin-ups on it.
Are you really?
Yeah, 99 or whatever, 98.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that shocked my mum as well. And I was like, I don't know why.
I don't know why it shocked me. I think it's shocked me more that you know how much you weigh because we don't own scales.
No, but I had to weigh myself a few weeks ago to go on the aeroplane to King Island.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, maybe the previous scales I've used are like a bit off and maybe I'm like low 90s. No, 98.9 or something.
Yeah, okay.
Grant, I had clothes on, but that doesn't really count.
Nah, I don't think it makes that much of a difference.
And I don't know why my mum was so shocked as well. She was like, "You're not 100 kilos."
Well, you weighed like what, 87 or something when you were 13.
Yeah. I've always been heavy.
Me too, babe.
Don't body shame me.
I won't.
Yeah. All those people texting me or messaging me on Instagram saying you're so fat.
Well, the other day we were actually talking about weight in the shop because you brought up that you were 100 kilos or something like that. Yeah. And then Cody was like, "What? No, you're not." And then Mickey was like, "No way." And then I was like, guys, I had to weigh myself when we found out I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm heavier than most of them.
We're dense, Bella.
Yeah, I know.
Density.
I'm concerned for our child.
I wish I was taller, but when I was younger, I was always happy that I was like heavy.
You know what? I'm happy with my life and how I am.
Weird tangent. Anyway, got the workout station, so I've been trying to do that, use that a little bit to get my body in better nick. One of my other notes was body issues. So we've been through that. And then, this weekend had a really good weekend. Finished off the week last week with a customer from ours. He gets tattooed by both you and I. Moved to Adelaide, and then
that's right.
Yeah, he's loving Adelaide, and he came back over, did a full day. We finished off his sleeve, and
the sleeve has been a work in progress by both of us.
Yeah, I've done the majority of it, but you've done a few in there, and that was a good way to finish off the week. And
he's always very entertaining.
Yeah,
he's very just like happy and lighthearted all the time.
No, he was really good. I had a good week of work last week, and then had a great weekend. Surfed twice, Sunday, Monday. Little bit of tension in the water, not from me on Sunday.
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, so just based on the conditions and stuff, we ended up surfing in the afternoon, which we don't regularly. We usually surf at like sunrise, and that limits the amount of people who are going to be in the water.
Sorry, I need to interrupt.
Yeah.
The highlight of my weekend this weekend was the breakfast that we had before you went surfing.
Oh, yes.
It's like my new favourite meal. I don't know if it's because I'm becoming a big fat lard.
With bacon.
It's from Merrick's General Store, which we've literally been to every weekend for the past 4 weeks. And it's pancakes with bacon, a fried egg, maple syrup and whipped butter. And I'm not big on maple syrup, so I don't add that. So that's...
I love maple syrup.
Yeah. But oh my God.
Do you want to know why I love maple syrup so much?
Yes, because when you're a child, your mum would only allow you to eat golden syrup.
Yep. Never could never, until I left home, was never allowed to have maple syrup. So deprived.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry, continue about your surfing.
We usually only surf in the mornings. But because of the conditions, we were going to surf in the afternoon, which allowed us, as you said, to go to brunch with our good friends Jason and his partner Kitty. And got out there. But then I realised it's like everyone surfs in the afternoon on Sundays, don't they? So it was like 40 people battling for this little peak. And I was like, oh, there's a tension brewing out here. I could definitely feel it. And I'd had my fair share of waves. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to sit on the inside. But then we went back there Monday, the following day. Only me, my brother, and Ariel out, and like 2 other randoms. They were gooses, so they had no idea what was going on.
Gooses.
We just had the pick of it, and it was that fun. And then you made me buy a surfboard for my birthday.
I did. I made you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did make you. I was a bit forceful.
Now, Bella, because we've just rambled on for 13 minutes.
Hey, well, that was a longer intro than the grumpy one.
Yeah, definitely. I thought we'd get onto a bit of tap-related stuff.
Yes, master.
Can I firstly chime in?
Always. It's your podcast.
We don't have any ads or sponsors for this podcast, so I'm going to chuck my own in.
Okay. I'm concerned.
Firstly, Carlisle Tattoo Co. on Instagram and TikTok. We're going to get the TikTok going more.
Yes.
So if you are on TikTok, jump over, give the shop a follow. We've got 1 video on there.
Yes. I'm no good at TikTok, so I'm leaving this up to you and Bobby and KJ.
Well, I'm the only one who's doing the TikTok.
Okay, so if it's lazy or shit,
it's my fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, shop TikTok, Carlisle Tattoo Co. If you're on it, have a look. And we will be posting more regular content on there, obviously videos. And then Carlisle Threads, which is a little project that myself, Bella, Bobby Skins, and his fiance KJ or Cody, we've been working on for a little while. It's, without going into too much detail because we haven't actually released it yet, it's like an extension of shop merch and something that I've actually is really exciting. I'm actually really excited about
really excited for it.
Yeah, and obviously it's clothing, but Yeah, I think I was saying this the other day is for Carlisle Threads, it's like, you know, your whole goal is obviously to get your tattoo career to a certain point, and that never ends. You know, you always want to progress your tattoo career, be doing better tattoos, more involved, or, you know, progress your actual quality of tattooing. And then you want more and more people to see that. And that then opens up, well, in my mind, that opens up opportunities to either travel or, you know, do whatever within tattooing.
Yeah.
But I definitely think this winter, so the last few months for us in Australia, especially down south where we are.
I'm just going to say I can feel a rant coming on.
No, not a rant at all.
Oh,
Positive,
okay.
positive. This winter has been the first winter in a while that's actually felt like a winter.
Yes.
Because like we've previously been coming out of COVID. It's been...
Well, yeah, we were sort of locked indoors and couldn't work.
And then after COVID, it was sort of like irregular tattoo seasons. And this is the first one I think's gone back to normality. And every customer I tattoo, they come in and go, what have you been up to? And I'm like, literally just going to work and that's sort of it, you know? Like not very much happens during winter down here. And it's like not crazy winter, it's just cold and depressing, and Melbourne sort of like goes...
Well, yeah, by the time we finish work at night, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And then we've got to drive home.
Exactly. And Melbourne, across all things, goes into like hibernation over winter, except for AFL. But that's given us the opportunity to sort of like focus on some other things outside of tattooing, still loosely linked to it. So that's where Carlisle Threads has come from.
But it's been tricky because we haven't necessarily been able to mention it to anyone until we launched.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like awkward. We were sort of like, oh, nothing.
We haven't actually launched Capsule 1, but we've put out the socials and stuff like that. So the reason I was saying this, I know it's been long-winded, is if you are interested in checking out the Capsule 1, release number 1, or getting in early, if you go onto the website, carlislethreads.com, on the homepage, there's an early access. You sign up to the email list. You will get early access to, obviously, when it comes out for sale, 24 hours before we release it online, on social media and stuff like that. You'll get a code. You'll be able to access all the products. So give it a follow on Instagram, Carlisle Threads, and on the website, carlislethreads.com, you can sign up to the early access email list. And then in the future, that's where we'll obviously we'll contact you with promotions, and we won't spam you. It's not going to be spam.
No.
But I just wanted to get onto that. That's the little ad.
Okay, you said it all. I have nothing to add.
That's fine. So on the TikTok thing, Bella.
The tiki-toki?
I don't actually spend that much time on there. Do you?
No, not much.
Okay. I have noticed recently, and we had this conversation at the shop this morning. I'm actually not sure if you were involved. I was talking to Mickey about it.
I was making a stencil at the time for someone.
Yep.
So I came in bursts.
And I was driving in the car this morning and I was thinking about this, and then it just happened that Mickey sort of brought it up, and not really a question or anything, but just sort of a discussion topic that we might touch on again in the future. I was sort of like, I went on over the weekend, spent a bit of time just scrolling, and I obviously get a lot of tattoo related stuff. And I was sort of like almost blown away by how many accounts there are of like seemingly, well, I mean, a good mix between like professional tattooers and then like home taught tattooers whose whole sort of accounts are about like, this is how I do a tattoo. This is the machines I use.
Yeah, pretty much like tutorials on how to do their job.
And it just made me think that it's like,
I get quite a few of them, not as many as you get.
Yeah,
I get a lot more dog videos.
You do. But like some of these accounts are like legitimate professional tattooers.
Yes.
And I feel like in previous versions of social media, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, whatever, there just wasn't that.
Never.
And then a lot of them are just like people who have almost learnt through watching those videos and now have just like tapped themselves.
A lot of them.
And some of them are actually really good. There's obviously a lot that aren't. Doesn't mean that the knowledge they have isn't correct. It's just
the application is maybe not the best.
Yeah, it's just really interesting how like that's become a thing. And I think the industry was so closed off to that. And I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I disagree with it, because I actually
just a general opinion.
Yeah, I was just like really interested as to like, and I was saying to Mickey, because he was asking me about social media and stuff, and I was like, I almost think that these days if you want to like, if your goal is to gain a following, that seems to be like the easiest way to do it. And I'm not saying anyone should do it. I'm just saying that's what I've been seeing.
I do agree. I think that if you do want to get your work out there and gain more traction on your social media, which then will hopefully translate into more bookings, I think the best way is to be really onto all different channels of social media, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. They're probably the main ones that people
I feel
make
like
these
for
videos
tattooing, the YouTube is like almost untapped. There are a few, definitely.
And there are getting to be more.
Yeah.
So that's why I included it, because it is slowly growing, whereas maybe 6 to 9 months ago, it was maybe 4 people.
I think the reason TikTok, in YouTube, stands alone almost as like an outlier is I think like in order to do good quality content on there, it requires so much more effort.
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
But the amount of effort that these people are putting into their TikTok videos is a lot. Like that would take me
crazy.
half a day to film, like to stop doing what I'm doing, set up the tripod, film it, make sure it looked good, the angles were right.
Yeah.
And then like you're doing it like hands-free. Well, you're filming it hands-free because you're like setting up your machines and showing them how to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I could not do that, me personally, because that would mean that I would have to take time away from doing the actual tattoo.
Well, that's the hard thing. That's what I was saying to
therefore,
Mickey.
I'm not earning a wage.
Yeah.
I'm not earning a living because I'm not actually doing anything. Like it would be great if TikTok paid you, or
they do in America.
Yes,
not
but
Australia.
not really here. It's not really a thing.
That's what I was saying to Mickey is like my thought, like, because this wasn't a question. I was just like, my thoughts or my question is, are those people actually tattooing? Because
are they doing regular tattoos through the week?
Because our full-time jobs is tattooing.
Yeah.
And then you make the most of the social media that you can within the time that you have outside of tattooing.
Yes.
And it's like, so some of these accounts, it's like, I go like, I would only believe it possible. Like you definitely could if you did nothing else outside of just doing tattoos and making videos. But it seems like it's like they're so popular. But I'm just wondering, does it translate to actual tattoos, or is their job almost video creation?
Content creator.
Yeah.
See, I would hate to be a content creator because I'm just no good at that stuff. I don't find joy in it. And that's why I'm really bad at making TikToks or
because your passion's doing tattoos.
Yeah, because I would prefer to spend my time either drawing designs for appointments or doing the actual tattoo.
It is hard, and that's something
that's where
that,
I want my work to be.
A lot of tattooers have struggled with for a long time, and they would think that like some people think that we're doing a lot on social.
Oh God, I'm doing
and
the
I feel like
minimum.
I'm doing fuck all.
Yeah.
But hey, question from Brian NG. Hope you're feeling better, Bella.
Thank you.
Yep. Which celebrity do you think has the best tattoos? Alien emoji.
Oh my goodness.
We've pre-recorded this 2 times,
and now I'm
Bella.
trying to remember the name.
Singer from
That's not going to help me.
Maroon 5.
No, that's not who I said. That's who you said.
No, I'm not saying he has the best. I think he has good quality tattoos.
Yeah.
And you always see photos of him. What's his name?
He's
got California written across his stomach. He's very famous. Everyone would know him. We obviously don't know him that well.
Oh my God.
What?
Do you know who I said? I cannot remember his name.
That's right. I can remember some that we said. So.
Jonah Hill. That's who I said.
Oh, that's right.
Jonah Hill.
Yes. He's got tattoos from Burt Crack.
Because I had to think about this.
I think a few others.
It's majority
it's
done
all
by
pretty
Burt
much all
Crack.
Smith Street stuff. He's got definitely some really good quality tattoos. There's sort of like they're not like world-known celebrities, but within certain sports, like specifically like a few like professional surfers have tattoos from Burt Crack. Yeah? So they're obviously good tattoos.
I generally don't think that many celebrities have great tattoos. I think a lot of celebrities go for more of like a fine line pared back look because they don't want it to change their look
Depends
for
what we're
getting
talking.
jobs.
Yeah, but it depends.
Did you know?
Are you talking more like actresses, actors, and models? Because
they're a
heaps of
celeb.
like NBA players who would be considered celebrities.
Yeah,
have
but
like
I don't follow NBA. I
Yeah.
would not know one single NBA player.
that. I feel like we're just fanboying over Burt Crack here, but I remember these are the things we spoke about. That model has a back piece from Burt Crack, Kat
Yes.
McNeil.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd say she's a celebrity. She's got like 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Well, does that make you a celebrity?
No, it doesn't. But we did have this discussion in the last recording.
Oh, I think you're putting her name in there so you can be like,
No.
I'm a celebrity.
No. This is where we got into the discussion of what makes a celebrity or someone famous.
Okay.
And I reckon in order to be considered famous or a celebrity, you need to be able to be recognized.
Outside of that one arena that you're famous for.
Yes. Without almost in pretty much every country in the world. And so I think that really limits it. There's only be a few, not a few, there's lots obviously.
I think if you're known worldwide,
yeah,
not just in like the country.
without having to have social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who else has good tats? This is like she would be a celebrity because she's like got a TV show and stuff, and she's also a tattooer. So like Kat Von D, she's got some good tattoos.
Yeah, I'm not putting tattooers or people who work in the industry in this category
Yeah, okay.
because I don't think many people know about them unless they're into tattoos.
Yeah, true. Kat Von D was originally on Miami Ink, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she was dating or married to Oliver Peck at the time.
I'm pretty sure they were married very briefly. Should I Google and
Nah,
confirm?
don't Google. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll just message him and say, hey, question for the pod, Oliver. But then she had her own show, LA Ink, which was massive.
Yes, I watched that.
And then she started a makeup company and I think she did fashion, modeling, stuff like that.
Yeah, the makeup went pretty big.
But she's an amazing tattooer and she had some amazing tattoos. But she recently got her arm blacked out by, I'm not sure
I didn't know she got her arm blacked out.
Yeah, his name's Hood. Hoode.
Yep, I follow
And then
them.
there's some numbers behind it on Instagram. I can't remember it specifically. But I would say he's like the premier blackout artist in the world.
Yes.
Definitely. He's a great tattooer beyond blackouts.
He does crazy stuff.
Yeah, really interesting. To have a look. I'll try and find it quickly so I can actually tell you the.
Do you know what I found out the
actual
other
name.
day?
What?
And this sort of contradicts my point of like I don't really like care or follow famous people. But I saw when I was looking for a reference for some tattoo I had to draw, randomly it was totally not what I was searching for in Pinterest, but it came up saying Kendall Jenner has a tattoo. Did you know that? Because you love Kendall Jenner.
I didn't know that. And I don't know how that makes me feel.
It is tiny.
Oh, it would
like
be.
legitimately the size of one of my fingernails, and it's like a cowboy boot on the outside of her like Achilles.
Well, technically it's a tattoo.
I wonder if I'm
But-
wrong and Pinterest just labelled the photo.
It might be.
Incorrect.
So the Instagram account is Hood, HOODE 215. The actual numbers, not words. And yeah, go like obviously not traditional, but he can do really good traditional as well. But go and have a look. Some absolutely wild tattoos on there.
Here you
Like
go. I'm going to show you Kendall Jenner's tattoo.
technically it's a tattoo, but that's the kind of tattoo that
How small is that?
it's very small. It's done pretty good.
It's done very well for that size.
That's the kind of tattoo people get to say they've got a tattoo.
I agree.
Yeah. And that doesn't surprise me from Kendall, you know?
But that's what I was saying when I said I think most famous people try to get a tattoo where it is something that they can hide.
No, you're
so that it
talking
doesn't.
about models and shit like that. That's
No,
a
I'm
different
talking
world.
about in general.
Look at the NBA, Bella. They're not trying to hide their tattoos.
I'm not looking at the NBA. I've got no interest
You can't
in
say
that.
most celebrities and just whittle and exclude NBA players and like famous sports athletes. I guarantee you Michael Jordan is more famous than Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can't be like...
Actually?
100%. I think Michael Jordan would almost be the most famous person in the world.
Really?
Yep.
Like he's very, very famous.
No, he would be up there. I think it would be like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, I reckon Google who's the most famous people in the world. It'll be in there, 100%.
Who is the most famous person in the world? It would be better for the podcast if I was a faster typer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
Yep.
He's got some...
He's got some okay-ish, but some very shit tattoos.
Good tattoos. So he had the bull originally on his bicep and then he got covered up by Nico Hurtado. And I'm not sure the outcome of that. I have seen it. He'd also not be an easy body type to tattoo with like...
Oh, it'd be so difficult.
Firstly, like he's reasonably old now. He's done that much fucking steroids. His skin would be fucked.
It wouldn't be like a normal...
type of skin.
Consistency.
Yeah, it'd be very
like
difficult.
Kind of like flubbery. But
and he's also like ultra vascular.
Yes.
So that would make it difficult.
I've just clicked on a website that is like a list of famous people from 2023. Number 1, Elon Musk.
Well, he's very famous.
Number 2, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Soccer player. All right, we don't need to read any more of that. That's
No.
people don't want to hear that.
But it's all just like very generic.
It would be. Well, famous people, yeah.
It does have their net worth on here, which is quite interesting.
I reckon that shit's bullshit.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Because you look up the net worth of some people and you're like, you either know it's way more than
Well,
that.
the first female that comes up in here is Tay Sweezy.
She's very famous.
Not surprising.
Very famous.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, next question.
Did you all face any criticism from peers and family for being heavily tatted? My family, especially the older folks, give me shit for having them. I'm going to go quick, decisive answer. Not necessarily criticism. I would say disappointment initially. Mm-hmm. Mainly because I asked my parents if I could get a tattoo when I was 15 and they said no, and then I got it anyway.
And it was not small.
No, it wasn't small. So, no, I wouldn't say... I think it was more like they just didn't really want me to get them, and I was. But I wouldn't say...
You was.
No, I was getting them.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't give me shit or anything. In fact, it's like probably the opposite. They just don't even mention them.
I wouldn't say specifically like criticism is the word to describe it.
Yeah.
I would also go with disappointment. Much disappointment from mainly my mum.
Yep.
She's come around, thankfully. But yeah, first tattoo, she didn't really speak to me for
She cried.
a few days. She cried and cried and cried.
Yeah.
I think she just didn't realise that when I told her what I was getting, that it would actually be big. Not big, but big for her mind. It's at least hand size. And
Your lettering is not hand
no,
size.
the babushka, that's the one that she cried about.
Oh, okay. And it's on your forearm, I guess.
Yeah, so it's in a very visible spot.
Yeah.
It was colour, which she was devastated
That's
about.
definitely a hand size tattoo, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So yeah, that was a lot of disappointment. And then the more I got, as long as it was smaller than the babushka, she wasn't as disappointed, but still very disappointed.
Yeah.
But now she's okay with them.
But,
But grandparents, they were sort of just like, I think they were
Yeah.
trying to be nice to me because mum was so upset.
One of my grandparents, my grandma on my mum's side, actually has tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the only, she's the only other person in my family with tattoos except for my auntie.
Yes.
Who's only got a few small ones. But yeah,
Wait, which auntie?
Kate.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And my younger brother's obviously got tattoos, but he came after me. So yeah, she was into them, and that actually caused a little bit of drama because she was not babysitting me, but looking after me when I went and got my first
I thought it was your nana, your grandparents that were looking after you when you got it.
It was my grandma, mum's
Got
mum.
ya.
And I think then my mum thought that my nana had let me go and do it.
Yeah.
When in fact I hadn't even told her.
No, she was completely oblivious.
Yeah. But she still tells me to keep up with the aftercare. Keep putting the cream on them and they'll
Does
last.
she really?
Yeah, all the time.
That is so funny.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't say, not criticism from peers. No, not really. And no, I think definitely there is a point where your friends and maybe your family, depending on what sort of relationship you have with them and stuff, but it's like they really sort of like they have an opinion on it, or they're interested or intrigued, or they comment on them.
You've actually made me just realise that I did get quite a lot of criticism from my friends.
Yeah, well, none of your friends have tattoos.
Yeah, they were always very judgmental, even if they didn't realise that they were being so judgmental. I think they thought that they were just being like honest and kind in a way, but it was incredibly judgmental, being like, oh, wow, you got another one, or like just saying something that I was just like, I don't think you understand the way that you said that.
None of your friends have tattoos.
No.
And they're not into that sort of stuff either. So
no, but it was definitely criticism.
Yeah. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's a period where people will comment on them, like even random people will comment on them. And then I think there's a definite period where you get a certain amount and people don't mention them anymore.
Yeah, because they think you're scary.
Well, it could be that, or they can't.
I think you've had the scary
They
one.
can't differentiate between each individual tattoo, so they don't really notice when you're getting new ones and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then beyond that,
Amy actually said that to me on the weekend. She was like, so have you gotten any new tattoos? Because I can't notice because you have too many now that I can't tell what's new and what's old.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
How's when so they're our good friends, Ariel and Amy. He has had some health issues recently, Ariel. He's all good now. And we got him a present. We got him a surfboard as like when he got out of ICU in the hospital. As sort of like a...
Mind you, it was Hal has never purchased his best friend a birthday present, a Christmas present. They just built a house, so it was like a significant...
Well, it was like we thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? We surf together every weekend. Like I'll get you a board.
He's your best friend. I think he deserves a gift.
He's one of my 2 best friends.
That's true. No, 3 because I'm 1.
4 then because Ray's in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I got him this surfboard, but I was like, I didn't tell him, and I told Amy, and then we went over there for dinner, and I was like, hey, I've got your present, because he would usually like never let us come over for dinner. We've got a bit of a weird relationship where we don't. It's like his home time's his home time. You know, like we don't often organise stuff to like drop over or anything.
No.
So he was like real freaking out apparently about like what
he was, because I got there before you because we drove separately, and he was trying to like interrogate me, and he was like, are you having twins? Is Hal dying? Like,
well, he thought in the end that I'd got a tattoo of him.
Yeah, of his name or something. And I was like, that is such a shit surprise for you.
Yeah.
Because like that would mean not much to Hal to get someone's
hopefully you
name on them.
fucking prefer the surfboard. So yeah, I think we answered the question pretty concisely.
Yes. I will add, I have had a lot of people on the street stop me and be like, it's mainly old people.
You get a lot more.
I probably had 15 people stop me on the street and be like, just as they're walking past, they don't say hi or anything. They just go like, oh, how could you do that to your body? And I'm just like, oh, fuck
I don't
off.
ever get that. So I sometimes don't believe that you get that.
You've never believed me when I've come back home or back to the shop and said like, But
you do have like a history of like going to just normal places and then saying like, and then some shit happens to you. You know, it's like you go to the supermarket during the day and you come back, you're like, this lady came up and said I was bloody fat or something. I'm like, what?
I don't know what it is, but people just like
to
to say nasty things to me and like I've never met them before, I've never seen them before, and I haven't even made eye contact with them.
Just hearing things?
No, it's not voices in my head. I think people just don't like me that much.
I don't know about that. Question from Jacob. Yes. Question for the pod. Related to apprenticeships, but more about the apprentices in the shop, which would be Jack X Tattoo on Instagram, Charles Cooper Tattoo, Luke Etho, ETHO. All about to finish their apprenticeships, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. And just for the record, we don't have 3 apprentices in the one shop.
It's over the 3 shops.
3 shops, all right? I don't want everyone thinking that we're just letting anyone tap.
Yeah.
Even though I know some
all.
people do. What was the main thing you saw in each of them that made you want to give them a go? Don't have to name each apprentice specifically. Oh, sorry, already did. But interested to know, i.e. artistic talent, work ethic, or a combination of things, etc.
Okay, I'm going to answer this while you let the dogs back inside because I can hear Cuddy scratching at the door and it makes me sad.
Bear in mind...
Yeah?
Actually, no, nothing to say.
Oh, well, now I want to know what you were going to say. But anyway, I think for me, the thing that stands out the most is someone's personality and their drive/work ethic, I think they just need the best trait in a person is just willingness, open-mindedness, and you're approachable.
Yep. So just for the to give a little bit of context, because we had one guy, actually only one guy, message in saying too much apprenticeship talk, blah, blah, blah. So that's why we don't talk about it much.
Yeah, and who knows if he even listens anymore.
I know, he might not.
So I'm going to ignore the apprenticeship thing and say it's a topic we can talk about again.
Yeah, but I don't want it to, like, it's not going to become a thing where we're like, this is how you get an apprenticeship in the future, unfortunately, if that's what you're listening for. Just to give context on how it works is obviously the shops are owned by Bobby, his fiance, myself, and Bella. And any sort of decisions that happen within the shop, it's like one of us might have the idea. For example, when I taught Luke to tattoo, I came and said to Bella, to Bobby, hey, like, I'm thinking of apprenticing Luke. This will be the situation. I think it could work like this.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
You approached us with the plan of how you would do it.
We all agree on it. So.
Well, we all discussed and then said, yes, that will work or this won't, and how can we make it happen?
Then you have to sort of decide, it's like, okay, Luke was my apprentice, but once they get to a certain point within their progression, they then sort of just become part of the fabric of the shop, and then they take...
We find that then they're just the general shop
But they become the shop apprentice in a way. But there's always, one or two people, most likely sort of myself or Bobby, and then Bella, once you got to a certain point in your career, who are like the like backstop for where the advice comes from.
Yeah, I think the better word would be a mentor or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because like with Luke, for example, his cousin Aaron works at the shop as well.
Yes.
And Aaron wasn't in a position or didn't feel like he was in a position to take on an apprentice at that time. Mm-hmm. We needed someone at the shop to do all the apprenticeship stuff, or like the stuff that apprentices do, the cleaning, whatever. So I was like, I'll take this on. But obviously, like, Luke took a lot of advice from Aaron as well.
Yes.
But it ultimately wasn't Aaron's responsibility to teach Luke to tattoo.
No.
Even though he did contribute to it just massively. So, I would say that it's like the things that I've seen consistently across like all the apprentices I've been involved with, whether I'm directly involved in teaching them to tattoo or not, is firstly personality, because you're obviously like going to spend a lot of time with these people. So personality, then work ethic, because I believe personally that tattooing, like almost any skill, can be learned to a certain point. Then that's when like natural talent and ability and stuff comes into
your own design spins and stuff.
Yeah, but that's like the final few percent, you know? So you can get to the top 99%, like be within, the top 2% of tattooers in the world, I think based mostly off work ethic.
I do agree.
If you want to be in the top 0.1%, you need obviously have huge work ethic and then a lot of ability and talent, natural talent.
Yep. You got to put in the time.
But you can get very, very close to the top, mainly through working hard. And I think that's the one thing, or not the one thing, but
something that stands out.
That you can do, anyone can do it. Doesn't matter like whether you're a good drawer, anything like that. Anyone can work hard in almost any job, really, like. So that's something we really look for, and that's something that goes so far in building a good career, building good respect from your co-workers, from other people within the industry. So yeah, I would say it's personality and work ethic.
Okay, so the same things that I said.
Exactly, yeah.
But you just wanted to ramble.
No, I just wanted to give like a little bit extra. Okay. I wanted to give my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, artistic talent, it's like...
You learn that on the job.
You do. And like, unless you like have crazy artistic talent...
Yeah.
I would say the majority of people who come in and show portfolios or have Instagrams that are like
The design Instagrams
I'm looking for an apprenticeship style things, like almost an online portfolio. It's all sort of much of a muchness, you know.
Yeah.
It's like it's all the same sort of, not necessarily the same subject matter, but the same quality work. It's like very rarely do you see people
that's a standout
that are like that's like
your levels up,
levels above.
I agree. I need to stop agreeing with all of your opinions, but
I agree with yours. But we also have these discussions off air all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why we
disagree about a lot. Don't worry, guys.
But the other interesting thing about the artistic side is the reason, and like if you're a tattooer, you'll understand this, and if you work in a shop, and maybe it's just the people I work with and stuff, but it's like when someone comes in with a portfolio, and I always really respect someone coming in with a portfolio because it's daunting. It takes time out of your day.
It's terrifying.
But yeah, it shows like a willingness that again, that sort of work ethic, that willingness that people are looking for. But you can, more often than not, it's like you can look at someone's paintings or drawings or whatever, and you can describe them as like, oh, that's like an apprentice painting. Because
definitely
most people make the same mistakes with their artwork when they're beginning, you know, when they want to start transitioning from maybe just normal drawing into like tattoo related stuff.
Yeah.
And
the worst is when it looks like they've used watercolor.
Well, that's just, you know, a lot of the mistakes, and I've made all of these. You can go on my Instagram.
Oh, you do not want to see some of my first stuff.
Exactly, because everyone's in the same boat. So it's like when we say like artistic talent, it's like that's because you can learn that, you know. And a lot of making something look good, and this might offend people who think they're amazing painters who tattoo.
I can't wait. What are you going to say?
A lot of making things look good as a painting within tattooing, like a tattoo style painting or a tattoo, comes down to knowing to use the right shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the equipment that you are using.
It doesn't. It might not necessarily. It doesn't have to do with your ability. It doesn't have to do with your actual knowledge of the art form. It has to do with like using the right paper, using the right.
I was just going to say, if you've got like
exactly.
the wrong paper and you start trying to shade it with ink, and then the paper's like balling up and stuff, it's like, oh my God, just stop, because it's not going to look good.
So that's just knowledge that can be imparted on you almost immediately. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
and if like your pen is bleeding on the paper, like, oh, stop.
And until you get to a certain level where you really understand what you're doing, that's when then you could use almost anything and make it look good. Yeah. You know? But yeah, initially.
To an extent.
So what are we agreeing on? We're agreeing on work ethic, personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like willingness.
Yeah. I'll get a photo of this, Bella, so you can.
One thing that I was actually going to say when you said about people coming into the shop and like showing their portfolio, and you don't care about this as much as I get bothered by it.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. I get a little bit like frustrated when someone comes into the shop and they don't actually know anything about the shop that they're literally asking to work at or like to take you on as an apprentice.
Why you would think that.
I just think if I were going into an interview for a company, I would want to know the bare minimum about that company so that I could show why I'm interested and why I've chosen your specific shop or brand.
Yeah.
I think that is a really big thing. And like try and go that one step further and see and figure out who owns the shop and ask to speak to them or the manager.
Yeah.
Because that's, you don't want to be talking to just some bloke who's worked there for 3 months and isn't going to pass on the message that you've actually popped in. So do some research and speak to the right person that's actually going to potentially have the deciding
call. I think it does go, you know, like again, like it does happen somewhat regularly that people come in and want to show their portfolios and ask about apprenticeships and stuff. And of course, you know, like the strike rate of successfully getting an apprenticeship is so low that we all understand that it's like you might be going to 10 shops that day.
Yeah.
But definitely, you know, like
you want to make an impact. You want to stand out from the crowd. If you're going to this trouble to pop into a shop, like make them remember you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, like we've got a sort of a general policy that if and it's not vain or anything like that. It's just if someone comes in and asks, not that we're really ever considering taking on apprentices, but you never know. You know, the right person might come and almost force your hand. You know,
We've had that happen before.
They might have the right personality. They might really show like a desire to work hard and to do the things that we want them to do. So like, yeah, you almost sort of can get forced into it, but you know, sort of if we look on their social media, which is an online portfolio, as we said before, and they don't follow anyone from the shop, they don't follow the shop, you know, it sort of says like they're not really into what we're doing.
Well, that's my main issue.
And
why would they come to us if they don't like the work that our shop is putting out there?
That could just be like maybe they do really like what we're doing, but they just hadn't. But that's just an easy way for us to, and then
it's the best way for us to decide if they actually want a job
with us
or if they're just looking for any opportunity, because the last thing you want to do is hire someone new and then them leave like 2 months in.
Yeah, or like
because you've taken that time and they have as well. So it's like you want it to work out. So that's just an easy way to test the water.
So hopefully that answers your question.
And gives you some nice pointers.
This is from Braden. And he said, haven't heard God, he didn't say that. He said, haven't heard anything about your golf game on the pod. How often do you play? Do you have a handicap? What clubs do you use? I'm going to be reasonably quick and answer this. I play once or twice a year. I have a set of $400 clubs I bought on Marketplace. I've subsequently got club covers that cost more than my golf clubs. I have decided that I don't ever want to play golf again, and I don't have a handicap. To just give you a bit more context as to why I think all those things. And people are going to argue with me about this, and I've had arguments before.
Can you summarise this
quickly?
Way more than what you've already summarised in your head right now?
Yep.
Great.
As in to shrink it down?
Yeah, even more.
Yeah. Okay. I don't believe as a physically able person who is not either substantially old or has some sort of thing that's handicapping them on the course, that there is no need for a handicap system. All right? I've hit a par before. I've hit a birdie before. Yep. That says to me...
Sorry, I'm going to say a terrible choice of words because par in my mind is grandpa and birdie is like a bird. So
I didn't choose the golf terminology.
And I played golf when I was little.
Yeah. I'm already arguing against the golf system.
Sorry, I've also asked for this to be short, so I'm going to shut up.
You're trying to get me to argue against the terms they use.
Continue, sir.
So I believe if you can hit a par, even just one time, or a birdie, that I've proven to myself that I can do it. I can play the game to the level it's meant to be played on that hole. I then don't need extra shots because I'm not good at the end. For example, I played your dad in a game once, 18 holes. He reckons I beat him by one shot. He had 24 shots less than me.
Dad is also, he knows that you don't like losing.
No. I said, I'm a fully grown adult. I don't need you to baby me and say, oh, you did so good, you beat me. It's like,
I just said he was being nice.
I know. And I said to him, I didn't beat you. You beat me. That's fine. Whatever. So I don't believe in the handicap system. Professionals don't use it. So I don't think everyday golfers should use it.
I'm not a massive fan of it.
People who play golf a lot really disagree with me on that.
Yes. We've had some heated conversations with a few people.
The reason I'm not into golf anymore I wasn't really ever into it. I've played it fuck all times, to be honest. But I was playing somewhat regularly a few summers ago. Too long, bit boring for me, not physically exerting enough. So that's sort of like the reason that I'm not going to give more time to it.
Yeah, fair.
And unlikely there's going to be much more golf talk on here. We'll probably play a game with a few of the guys from the shop. Bobby's really into golf. Aaron's really into golf. So
yeah, you're more than willing to do it if there's a good group of you and it's enjoyable to be around that group of people. I'm going to say the highlight of golf for you is the clothing from Bogey Boys.
Yeah. Not the biggest fan of his music, but I do like what he's done with Bogey Boys.
He has some pretty nice tats.
Macklemore. Oh, we forgot to mention him.
Yep, there we go.
He's got some good tattoos from Josh Sotheby. Mm-hmm. I actually think he's been tattooed by Ben Rourke as well. I could be wrong, but I've got that in my mind.
I'm unsure, so I'm not going to comment.
Yeah. He's got like some,
by
classic traditional pieces. I would say he's definitely famous. He's a celebrity.
Definitely. If you're selling out arenas for concerts, you're famous.
Yeah. We've been yip-yapping a bit on this episode.
I think you've been yip-yapping.
No, you went on the big long-winded one before.
I don't know.
And you were looking at me afterwards then trying to tell me to hurry up.
Yeah.
I'll do one more question because, we've got actually way more questions to get through. But, question for the potty. What do you guys think about this trend of people getting tatted under sedation? Seems like, sorry, I fucking lost where I was reading.
You can't read very well.
No, I accidentally held down on the screenshot of the question and then it like super sized and whatever. Seems like a solid way to get a back piece smashed out in one session. But if it were that good, it would be more available, right? And then he sent me a video link to a TikTok that I have seen before of 10 tattoo artists doing a big, large-scale tattoo on one guy who's under general anesthetic.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I have some opinions. I don't really care if someone would like to do that. I have no strong opinions in regards to if you want to do it. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot or whatever. If that's how you would prefer to approach the situation, go for it. Mm-hmm. Me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Not super into it.
Okay.
I don't think I would enjoy the experience of being under to do it. I wouldn't like waking up after it and just like getting that sudden hit of I'm sore everywhere.
Okay.
I think the price of it would outweigh the pros of getting it all done in one because so for that video, you've just said that there's 10 people doing the tattoos.
Yeah, there's I'm not sure what they're called, but they're like a team of tattooers.
Yeah.
And
so
they're actually all really, really good tattooers.
Yeah, so I'm unsure of how it works. So this is just based off how I'm assuming the situation would go. One, you would be paying for an anaesthetist.
It's just a set. I think the whole thing's like a package deal.
Yes, but then if that's not, are you paying for all of the individual tattooers' time?
You would.
Yeah, so therefore it would be so expensive and to get tattooed, I don't think anyone needs to go under general anaesthetic. I understand if it's incredibly painful and you want to use like numbing cream to help you out a little bit, but I don't think it's essential. But there are people in the world that disagree about every single topic and it's just not for me.
I'm going to agree but disagree with you.
Great.
Partially. I think doing this under general anaesthetic, so sedation, I would actually rather do this as a tattooer and as...
Oh, as a tattooer for sure, not as the person getting the tattoos.
Either, both. So me as the customer and me as the tattooer, I'd rather be involved in this whole situation than people using numbing cream. Because at least, for example, as the tattooer and as the customer getting it, under general anesthetic, under sedation, you're not feeling any of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the numbing...
And you can purely focus on the tattoo.
Exactly. The numbing cream, it's like, does it work? Does it not work? Does it work in some spots? It won't work in other spots. Did you put it on properly?
Yeah. The worst is when you're tattooing someone that's used numbing cream and you pull one line and they sit perfectly and then you go like 1 centimetre over and they just like jump.
Yeah, and we've spoken about this before about the numbing cream. And it's like, if you want to use numbing cream, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But
I'm not opposed to it, just let's get through it.
At least this 100%.
Yeah, I do think it would be easier to get a perfect tattoo going.
Not even about the perfect tattoo. I'm just saying from my perspective, it's like this seems more of 100% accuracy with achieving what you want to achieve than using numbing cream.
Yeah, okay.
But
I get
saying that, on both ends, I wouldn't be involved in this because one, as a customer myself, the cost would outweigh the benefit massively.
Yes. That's what raises the red flags for me.
Because it is really expensive. That's why I think it's not as available as what people think it should be. Because you've got to get like an anaesthetist, which is fucking expensive as.
Yeah.
So that's why you only see like a few celebrities and shit getting it. That's probably why. The cost. I think the only people I've seen doing this whole situation are realistic tattooers who do realism.
Yeah.
And the reason I think for that is realism tattoos take way longer than traditional. So it's like I don't actually know because I don't do realism, but everyone I know who gets realism tattoos, they're doing full day 10-hour sessions.
And multiple
get like
sessions.
fuck all completed.
Yeah.
Just because of like the actual application of the tattoo takes a lot longer. So I could understand, that's why they have 10 people doing this.
Yeah.
Whereas like you couldn't actually do that with a traditional tattoo.
No.
With 10 different people doing one tattoo. Well, technically you
could.
could, but it wouldn't work. So I think, depending on the style you want to get, if you wanted to get this whole back piece in realism done in 10 hours with 10 people doing it under sedation, I could understand why you'd be into it.
Yeah.
My honest thoughts about the whole thing is it's a bit of a gimmick.
I think so too.
The reason people do it, the reason people provide it as a service or an option, one is just like, well, you probably make good money as the person providing it. And the occasional person might come and get it, which is just a benefit for you. And then you get to generate some really good content out of it. And so I look at it like one of those things where you and I have tattooed customers together. Bobby and I have tattooed customers together. Heaps of the guys from the shop like tattoo one person at the same time. And it's like, in no way does that make either of our jobs easier, but you kill two birds with one stone. The person only has to get tattooed for 2 hours, not 4 hours.
They're not waiting around.
Exactly. So all those things. So
it works for some people, but others wouldn't want
but
the
it
pain.
also from our end, doing that generates a cool photo. Yeah, you get a good video. There's like all this content that comes from doing that.
There's
So
pros and cons.
That's why I think that's a big reason why they're providing this is it's about content generation.
I think it's purely about content
it's
generation.
It's about clickbait. And as you can see, like from this video, it's got 1.2 million likes and 5,800 comments.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee a large percentage of those comments are like, you've got to earn your tattoos. Why the fuck would anyone do this?
100%
Blah, blah,
they
blah.
are.
But that's the whole thing. The people providing this and putting it out there know they're going to get that reaction. And
I also don't care about you earning your tattoos. Like, if you want to go about something in a way that suits you, go for it.
yeah. But definitely. I just think it's a gimmick, like, and also, I personally don't think it's required, and I couldn't be fucked dealing with either end of it and the risks of someone having to go under general anesthetic and all this sort of stuff. But
some of the comments that I've read have been people, because I very briefly glanced over them.
You on there saying you fucking got to earn.
I was keyboard warring the shit out of it.
If you ain't crying during your tattoo, you're not getting tattooed hard enough.
No, have been comments from people saying, fuck you. I lost my train of thought.
That's what they commented.
No, have been people saying, oh my God, I could slap you right now.
God.
I could slap you.
Get back to it on the next episode.
No, that's so annoying.
Go read through those 5,800 comments and find the one that you read.
Oh my God.
Oh well. Anyway, that's clicked over an hour. And I feel like this was a much more positive episode than last time.
Well, now I'm finishing on a really bad note because I'm frustrated because I don't know what I was going to say, and it was a good one.
Yeah. Oh well. And we'll be putting this out just in a few days, actually. Hopefully, maybe even tomorrow. But thanks everyone for listening. Send us in your questions, comments, whatever.
And I'm so sorry that this episode is late because Hal got his knickers in a twist.
Mm-hmm. And maybe one day, if enough people message, we'll release the unreleased argument tape.
Well, there's no point because we talk about the same things.
You know how sometimes YouTube accounts and stuff like that, they'd put like a compilation of like funny shit.
Not really.
And
You're big into YouTube. I'm not.
Yeah, okay. I reckon maybe one day for like our 100th episode, we just...
Are we going to do that many?
I think so. Well,
That's
we've done nearly 30.
Oh, okay.
We make a 1 hour episode, which is just snippets of every time we're arguing from every episode we've done previous.
That would be a fucking long episode.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 hour.
Well, no, we argue too much.
No. It's like you just cut it up. So it's all every like.
Oh, so if the whole episode would just be like, fuck, shit, fuck, fuck.
No, it's just, like little sections of us arguing.
Yeah. That
And
would
it's
be
just called, this is how you have
episode.
a strong relationship.
Are we going to say
You know what's
strong?
actually fucked? I was thinking about this the other day. Our kid is going to listen to all these episodes one day.
I don't think they will.
Nah, they would. Like if my parents had a podcast from when I was like 30 years ago, I would have definitely listened to every episode.
Why?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, what if you think your parents are lame and you just don't care?
No.
Because I'm assuming our child will think that we're lame.
No, Bella, if your parents had a podcast that they recorded 30 years ago, 100% you would have listened to it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Definitely.
Maybe.
You definitely would have.
Okay.
To get to know them, feel what they say.
Okay.
Exactly.
So our little potato is going to
Yeah.
listen to this. Mm-hmm. Hello, little potato.
Wait till we do the...
We don't actually call you a potato. I don't know why I just called you
the
that. We don't call
episode
you
where
anything.
we talk about how they were conceived.
Well, I refer to you as it, so because you're not outside of my body yet,
you're
so
not that...
I'm not
I
happy
thought it was
with
a
you.
progressive style.
No.
Okay.
I don't like you very much because you make me feel sick. I will like you when you're born, I promise.
Wow.
Hey, this is going to be the best episode for them to listen to because it's brutal honesty.
This is like Inception. They'll be listening to this and you'll be talking directly to them.
Yeah, you're
Pretty crazy.
inside of me and you're jumping on my bladder. So
If
let's
everyone could
wrap
rate
this up.
the podcast, like it, follow it on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen, send it to a friend if you think they'll listen to it. And they
Or
might
your
enjoy
mum,
it.
or your grandma, or your
Yeah.
cousin, or your
And-
boss. Bond with your boss.
Yeah. No, we do appreciate everyone who listens, and we also really appreciate when people message us in, questions, comments, and also when people say to us in the shop that they listen to the podcast.
Yes.
Even though I always respond a bit awkwardly.
Oh,
'cause
I'm so awkward and I'm
never
so
know what
sorry.
to say.
I'm always like, oh, sick, thanks.
Yeah, oh, thanks for that. But we do actually really appreciate it. So
I've actually got an idea.
What?
You know what? If you guys have a small business, a large business, whatever, and you want to sponsor the podcast, reach out.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were about to do free shout outs.
No.
Oh.
Maybe not free. I'll do shout outs if you give me some cash.
No, we're not getting to that cameo.
No, if you want to sponsor the podcast, if you've
Yeah.
got a cool business that we like the sounds of or we might use.
You'll know if anyone listens this far because if we don't have any ads in the next 6 months, you'll know that no one's messaged in. Anyway, thank you. I've got to go work out in the garage.
Are you actually going to do that right now?
Yeah, 100% every second day.
Dale, it's 9 o'clock.
So what?
Oh my God. I'm going to bed.
Well, I've got a body to maintain.
I don't. Mine's shot to shit.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia.